Brunch of champions, everybody. Gonna make myself a little fruit bowl. And I usually do this in between filming and different things that I do. So I'm gonna start with my fruit here. I got my fruit all ready to go. And I'm gonna put a couple of cups, one for myself, one for my wife. She doesn't know that yet. But I'm going to go ahead and start with the strawberries. Gonna open these bad boys up. I'm gonna move hers to the side. I'm gonna pour these into my cup. Then I'm going to grab my blueberries. Blueberries, very good antioxidants. They're going to be great to start your day with. And then the next thing I want to do is I'm going to go with some organic dark chocolate. Now that's going to give myself a little pick-me-up there. And you don't need much of this, you know, just a little bit here. I'm just going to break off a little piece here. Just give me 1 second. And so once I do, I'm going to break this off here. And then you just kind of break them up into small pieces, you know, just little chunks there. And I actually don't need all of this, but I'll just use, and I just store this away. And then what you can also do is grab some honey. So once I go ahead and put in, there's one extra strawberry that I forgot there. And I'm going to go and get myself some honey after I break up these Belvitas. And you've probably seen these in the store. This is good for just some carbs. Give yourself a little bit of an energy boost there as well. And you only need one of these. And you could just simply take these and it comes with like 4. You just break these up in little pieces as well. This is going to give you, it's going to make you full basically. It's going to give you some energy, keep you full, keep you on the go. And just tiny little pieces, just kind of break that up there and just kind of spread it around. And I usually get them a lot smaller than this, but for purposes of time, I'm just gonna kind of break them up, the lazy version. So give me 1 second. I'm gonna go ahead and grab some organic honey. Organic honey is gonna give it just that little bit of sugary flavor, as well as bringing all these different flavors together. And this is gonna be so good for you as well. Start your day. Now, this is what you call the perfect before you take off snack. Now, you got the Belvitas here for the crunchy, you got the chocolate for the sweet, semi-sweet, and then you got the strawberries for all the little, the good refresh hydration there. So look at that good stuff you got. Look at that. I mean, you can't beat that. Strawberries, Belvitas, blueberries, dark chocolate. Look at this one right here. I could take that big. Mmm. Some of you might say, oh, it's probably too dry. Nope, not for me. Because you got the juices from the blueberries, you got the juices from the strawberries, and then you got the crunch from the Belvitas, and you got the sweet from the honey that's in there. See? I don't want to tilt it over too much. But this is the best before you take off, go in between, before dinner kind of thing. Very good. I recommend this. Highly recommend this. Very good. Well, let's take off. And we made it. I'm here. I'm at a nice little park here. Got a little water. I'm going to show all of you that. Very nice park though. A lot of busy traffic here. I'm going to hop out of the car here. I'm going to take a little stroll around. I'm going to bring all of you with me. Should be a nice time. This is the best thing to do. Get yourself a little breakfast, a little brunch. Get outside if you can before the weather starts making a turn. I'm actually happy for the cool weather to come, but hey, whatever you can do to get out into nature is going to help you heal, is going to help you feel good. So I'm going to hop out of this hot car and I'm going to start taking a little stroll that way. Beautiful, beautiful view for sure. Let me show you all what I'm looking at here. So got a nice little lake here. Pretty nice. Oh man, I just stepped in a puddle. Dang, feet are soaked. 30 seconds before I get here. Wow. Anyways, you can always get some new socks. Got a nice little lake here. Man, where did that water come from? That's crazy. Got a nice little view here though, but this is gonna be a great little open park here. Super quiet during the day. No one here. Lots of greenery. It's gonna be the best time to unwind and just reflect, basically. And that's what a lot of you are trying to do, I'm sure. A lot of you are going through this, and I want to get back to topic here. I try to mix these between getting out, showing you a little bit of where where I am, what kind of stuff I see around here, but I also want to stick to the topic at hand. And of course, that is the condition that we're all dealing with, or have all dealt with, I should say, or some currently dealing with, is Eustachian Tube Dysfunction. This is the Eustachian Tube Dysfunction blog, or vlog, I should say. Some of you have reached out to me via email, and some of you have even messaged me through Instagram and things like that. And I want to be able to address every question that comes my way. And some of the questions I get is this ever going to go away? And does red light therapy really work? And I want to address a couple of those questions right now. And let me get up here. I'm going to get up here and can talk to you from here. Let me get up on the step here. Oh man, okay. Got a nice little view here. I definitely want to say that for all of you out there that are still going through this, just know that my heart is definitely with you all. And know this, it's not over. These videos, the purpose of these videos are to bring motivation to all of you. You already have done a lot of things. You've already tried a lot of things. You know, that's not the question. Trying and being committed to trying things is not the question. Being motivated and hearing it from someone other than like a doctor or provider is probably what you may be requiring next. You know, a lot of you are probably requiring that, to be able to feel like you're not just hearing it from someone that probably says that all day to everybody, you know, most people. You're hearing it from someone that you found on YouTube, someone that you could relate to, someone that's not practicing anything, that's not rich, not trying to do anything to, you know, take advantage of anybody's situation, just a plain average person that has gone through it. And that's what I feel I am for a lot of you. And I think a lot of you tune in because you feel the same. You feel connected to somebody that can help. And I really just want to be that advocate for you all. And the reason why I come out here and do these vlogs is mostly because this is how I started to heal slowly. You know, I tried to find things that made me heal. You know, I tried to take walks in the park, and this is why every week or so I'm going to try to make a connection to coming to a park to connect with you all, you know. Finding a nice little area and just connecting with everybody one by one if I can, and being that voice for all of you out there that are struggling to try to find that healing aspect that you haven't found yet. It's just frustrating though, because you all are being told different things. You all are being told what you should do and what you shouldn't do. And again, I'm gonna talk about this until I'm blue in the face, till you're blue in the face. We need to. The reason why I combine my outside activities with this topic is because mental health is the #1 thing that's causing a lot of problems with healing. There's no question that a lot of you are strong and strong enough to deal with all of this. There's no question, you know, like healing and believing you can heal is not a question. But finding that quietness in your mind is really what's hard to do. It's hard to find that quietness. You know, you feel like your mind is telling you all these negative things sometimes, you know. You go off of how you feel, obviously. You know, if you feel good, you're going to think good. You know, a lot of the times that's how it is. You feel good, you think good. And so that's really what I want to talk to you all today. I'm going to find a little hill somewhere right here by a tree. I'm going to post up and I'm going to continue what I wanted to tell all of you today. And I hope you find this video very, very important, but also very valuable in the sense that, again, it's just finding that healing, finding that belief, really. That belief system is really, really what's important here. I want to talk about the first question, and that is, does red light therapy work? I will say red light therapy works phenomenally. Why? It's because, again, it targets inflammation. And the reason why it targets inflammation is because of something called infrared. Infrared is basically an energy that you cannot see. It's basically a light you cannot see. It's just energy. It's something that can be seen with our eyes, but our body absorbs it. It goes deep into our blood vessels and heals the areas of our body that we otherwise couldn't get to. A lot of people out there, they basically sell what you call are red bulbs. They're like basically just a red bulb painted, like a bulb painted red, and or and they try to sell these things as being a medical grade device, and it's not. It's really just trying to make money, I guess. Trying to tell people it has benefits and health benefits and things like that, but it's not the best thing for you. And so honestly, I really just want to tell all of you out there, be careful with scammers. They try to kind of jump on people who are desperate or feeling a certain type of way. And so, but the medical grade device that I currently use is the top of the line. I mean, it's one that I know works. And if it doesn't work for you, it's most likely there's more that needs to be done. There's deeper things to address. We're out here in nature. Look at this. I mean, come on. I'm sure wherever you all live, there's probably some nice little areas that you can go. If you're dealing with this, again, you have to kind of make yourself get out there. And I recommend even sometimes going by yourself, just kind of taking that time to reflect a little bit, kind of just breathing in the air, breathing in the environment, taking it in, just looking around where you are and just appreciating where you are and that you're still standing. I mean, that's the ultimate goal, is that you're still here. You're still continuing to go. Your mind is going to play a lot of tricks on all of you out there. That's what this does. And that's what's not talked about a lot in the offices, is that when you leave, this is what I think. When you leave the doctor's office, you should be given a piece of paper or something saying, this is what you've been diagnosed with. We've determined that it's Eustachian Tube Dysfunction, most likely. And you should be given some kind of form or some kind of written response saying, be prepared to deal with this mentally. Be prepared to overanalyze everything and overanalyze what you do, what you take, what you consume, everything. I remember having a medicine cabinet with tons of medication in it, tons of vitamins and supplements, tons of things that I'm sure I didn't need. I got to the point where I spent thousands of dollars on many things that didn't really work for me. Just tons of things. And I realized, I look back now, I remember one day just sitting around and I just went through my medicine cabinet and I started just chucking things out. I had about 2 shoebox full of just all kinds of supplements that were expired and just all kinds of things that I didn't really even need anymore. I was taking magnesium, which again, I'm not telling you that those things are wrong, but when you're taking like 15 different supplements and 15 different vitamins, and then on top of that, you're taking nasal spray, you're taking all these types of drugs that you've been prescribed, it gets overwhelming to the body. It gets overwhelming to the mind. And you start thinking that you need all that stuff. You start thinking, I need this, I need that. You start almost feeling like you can't go a day without all of those things. And that's why I wanted to basically come out here and talk to all of you and tell you that it's okay to take supplements. It's okay to take vitamins. But when you get to the point where it feels like it's just a necessity, where you can't live without it, that's when it's getting into the mind and at a dangerous level, in my opinion. It's where you should be able to take those things and still be able to do other things. There's going to be days where you get up, you might have a fast-paced day. That day you get up and you're like, oh, I got to get out of the door, I got to get this done. But or even just a fun day where you feel good and it's a birthday party and you're like, wait a minute, before I do anything, I have to take 20 different supplements. And because you're at the level of fear that if you don't do it, you're going to feel worse, or you're going to reap whatever consequences come your way. And that's where I was at. It wasn't just like, it's not like you're on a medication that's prescribed to you that you need, that a doctor says you need to do this every day. It's not like that. That's a necessity. That's something that you've agreed with between yourself. Your doctor agreed that you need it. That's different. I'm saying I got to a point where I needed all these different supplements, and I felt like I couldn't leave the house till I had all of them. I had to consume every last one of them, and that's at a dangerous level. Really, I mean, when you get to that level, you feel like, and it becomes hard to really do things. It becomes hard to go out of town and go places that your medicine cabinet is not going to be there every single day. It's not going to be there at your arm's reach. You know, you're going to need to have to go places. You're going to have to go out of town. I explained to some of you that I go overseas every year or every other year, and it becomes hard when, if you're dealing with this mindset of this need to have to take these things and have these things with you. I remember going 2 hours away one time during the real deep severe level of having this problem, and I had a bag dedicated to just all these things I needed to take, that I thought I needed to take. And when you get to that point, it gets a little scary, because you feel like you can't do anything without it. I had one bag dedicated to just those things, and I had, of course, my other bag where I had my items of clothing and toiletry and things like that. But then I had this bag. I remember it was a good sized bag too. It was a good bag, and it was about yay big, and it had nothing but just medications that I thought I needed: nasal sprays, ear drops, and neti pots. I remember shoving that neti pot in my bag, almost cracking that thing a couple times. And it's like, I think back, I'm like, wow, I put myself, I shouldn't say I put myself, but I allowed myself to get to that level. And that's why I'm here right now. That's why I'm talking to you right now, because a lot of you are probably in that point where you're just thinking all these things that you need, all these things that you don't need, thinking that you're going to have this problem, that problem, this problem. I talked to some of you, and I know a lot of you are in this thing. I coined it as the carousel phase, the carousel effect. I'm not sure if I'm going to coin it as a carousel phase or effect. Kind of bouncing between interchangeably those two names. Basically, is what happens is you suffer a moment, or you have a moment of going through something that's wasn't to your liking. You have an experience that wasn't the best experience you could have imagined, right? So then what you do is you take that one moment of something happening, and you almost coin that as the norm. And then you go a couple of days, a year, a month, whatever, and you start associating everything based on that bad experience. So basically, you had a bad experience, you move on from that bad experience, and then if something similar to that experience rolls back around again, the carousel effect, you start associating what happened at that moment to what's going to happen in this moment, or what's going to happen in the future moment. And that becomes dangerous, because it may be something important. It may be something you need to do that requires you to, make a move on something. And so I really think when you get into that carousel effect, I like carousel effect better. When you get into that carousel effect, it's like everything you do is going to keep coming back to one moment you had that wasn't great. Like, if we've all spilt milk or juice or a cup, and we spilt it on the floor, or bumped it and knocked our glass over, we're not going to stop going to the restaurant, because we're going to say to ourselves, oh, I can't go to that restaurant. Last time I knocked my glass over, and liquid went all over the place. Well, see, you're going to still go, right? You're going to say, well, chances of that happening again is pretty low. Well, it's the same. The chances of you having a panic attack in that situation, in this moment, at that time, at this day, is the same. It's very unlikely to happen when you have this condition. Now, this doesn't apply to every condition you've ever had. If you had major things happen to you, again, this is applying to the ear conditions that a lot of you are dealing with. And I don't want to rule out and say that all conditions work this way, but I'm saying for my sake, I would basically label whatever happened to me in this moment of time, and then suddenly every time that moment in time reoccurs again, I think it's going to happen again. This is similar to taking a flight. A lot of you want to take flights, you want to go places. I get a lot of messages about the apprehension of taking a flight somewhere, and I know it's very troubling and it's very hard to imagine being on that plane. But I can tell you again, the chances of you having an issue beyond control of yourself is probably going to be not likely to happen. You're going to be able to control the situation. If you had a situation on a flight and it made you uncomfortable and you told yourself, I'm never doing this again, just keep in mind, it probably won't be the same experience or the same feeling or the same level of magnitude you went through at that time again. So take the extra stepping and don't get stuck in that carousel effect, because that is exactly what I started to do. All right, so I got my little rant out of the way. I want to always incorporate a little educational session in these little blog experiences, because I feel like they are very important. I need to put up my tripod and talk to you face to face for a little bit. I took a poll about that as well, and a lot of you love face to face, and a lot of you love the vlogs, what I'm doing right now. So I did both, but now we're gonna walk around a little bit now, and I'm just gonna talk to you about whatever I see, and also keep in mind of why you're here. A lot of you are here. This isn't a nature YouTube channel. This is a healing channel, but I want to do both because nature heals. So we're going to go a little bit. We're going to talk a little bit. Oh, there's a section over here. I can't wait to show you all this little section over here. It's pretty cool, actually. It's like a little walking trail. And the basis of this video as well is to tone the anxiety down, because that's the core of the problem too. Anxiety, stress, what's causing us to buy into the carousel effect. It's anxiety. It's putting labels on a moment and thinking it's going to repeat itself. History doesn't always repeat itself. That's why it's history, because it's already happened. And so we're going to go on this little walk, nice little walking trail here. This park is pretty huge. It's pretty nice, actually. I should have probably posted my tripod somewhere with a lake view, maybe talk to you in front of the lake, but I live in a place where it's mostly dry most of the time year round, but not so bad right now. Not so bad. So I talked a little bit about red light therapy, didn't get too much into it because I have tons of videos about it, and I just, after a little bit of time, somebody's hammering over here, folks, so hopefully you can hear me. Somebody's got a loud cell phone going off too over here. Not sure what that is, but we're gonna go on this nice little trail. I mean, just take a look at this. You can't have stress here, and this is free, by the way. I mean, yeah, you pay to live where you live, but you don't have to pay an entry fee to go to a park, right? Or go to a little trail or a place that makes you feel good, things like that. We got a little water down here, little stream here. Really nice. I mean, it's just really nice to have all of this at your disposal. I mean, to be able to access this stuff, and this is what's going to help all of you heal. And this is about 5 miles from the last place I showed you all, so it's not too far from the last place. But this is a nice little place. Little water over here. No trespassing. Gotcha. But I really want all of you to know that I hope these videos inspire all of you to just put your shoes on and walk out the door. Walk out the door wherever you live. Just Google all the nearby places. And I'm sure there's a lot of places that a lot of you haven't really, just in your town or wherever you live, you probably haven't completely, you probably haven't seen everything that there is to see in your town. I'm sure there's a lot of places still that you all can go to, and just take advantage of where you are. And I started to do that late in the game. I started to do that late into my struggle. I should have did that like at the beginning, but I didn't. I just spent a lot of my time in urgent cares and things like that. So, see, there's a lot more water over here. This is really nice. Let me see if I can get a better view of this. Yeah, see? It'll pick back up. Had a little bit of rain. It'll pick back up. It's a little low right now, but it's to be expected. It's summertime still. But right around November, it'll start picking back up, hopefully. And maybe I'll do another video over here and see where the water level is then. But for now, very nice. It's I definitely recommend it. I mean, recommend getting out, you know. And I just want to talk about the stressors that you guys all have and the anxiety real quick. You know, is it's crazy how when you start to get that trigger of stress, whatever it is, that little trigger of stress plants a seed, and then it basically plants that seed, and next thing you know, it's like your ears are listening, literally, and you start getting symptoms. And it could be interpreted as whatever it is you're stressing about, but really it's the act of stressing. Like, I don't want to confuse you, but basically just the thought, pure thought of about the stress starts triggering symptoms before you even truly stress about whatever it is. Like, you may wake up and stress that you might stress, and then you start getting the symptoms that way. The symptoms include uh, clicking sounds, swooshing sounds, um, just lack of good oxygen, narrowing of the nasal passages, dizziness, off balance. Should I continue? And then anxiety starts kicking in. But the pure act of stressing before you actually need to stress or will stress starts to perpetuate all the symptoms and includes all the symptoms already. So what I mean is, like, you may not even be at work. You may be off of work. You may be it may be a weekend day, and you're starting to have a lot of symptoms because you think your stress is going to come up for something that hasn't even come up yet. And that's what I'm talking about. Now you're in the carousel effect, where you're going to keep going back to what bothered you before. You have to break that. You have to break that chain. Once you break that chain, the healing begins. It's that simple. It's really that simple. Once you break that chain and you tell yourself, I'm not going to do this today, and you keep telling yourself, you keep teaching yourself that, it breaks that chain. And that's what it does. So that's my main job, my main focus, is to break you all out of the carousel effect. I got stuck in that whirlwind, and it lasted, geez, I mean, it lasted a good amount of time. It was hard to get out of that, seriously. I mean, it was really challenging to get out of that carousel effect. I was anticipating everything that I already went through and conquered and defeated already, going back in time and thinking negative again about everything. You know, I didn't want to do much. That's why I tell you, what I'm doing now is I'm making up for lost times. Yeah, I did a lot of traveling during the ETD moments, but it wasn't so enjoyable sometimes because I was sitting there in silence, trying not to disrupt everybody else's fun and everybody else's time with my own problems, you know. And now I can talk about it. Now I can help others. You know, this is why my channel is more than just, you know, it's more than just making videos and talking, and it's going back and appreciating what I went through. And I congratulate myself, and I want you all to do the same for yourself. Congratulate yourself, you know, on the little victories, the small victories, and think about what you've gone through. Our mind is. I read something one time. Our mind has never been our friend. That's deep. It's never been our friend. It's just a tool, you know. It's not your friend. It's like a hammer, you know. Hammer will get some work done for you, but put your finger in the way and hammer, it's you smash your hand. That's it. It's gonna hurt, right? So it still helps you though, but it's not your friend. It's not gonna keep you from getting hurt. You know, you got to use it wisely, use it correctly. And so, honestly, that's the same with this condition and how you feel. Is your mind? You have to take advantage. You have to take advantage of the good moments, but you have to also drown out when you start feeling negative. When you start wanting to stress, drown it out. You have to drown it out. Otherwise, again, you'll get stuck in that little moment. You get stuck in that carousel, and then it's hard to get out of that thing. You know, it's just spinning around and doesn't go away. You know, it's just giving you problems, and it's like, how do I get out of this thing? You know, I never mentioned that just going on these walks also is helping you build oxygen. You know, it's helping you keep your blood pressure in a good level, getting your steps in. You know, it's doing both. You need, find that thing that not only stimulates your mental health but your physical health. You know, I know it's horrible. You're walking around, your ears are doing all this stuff. Trust me, I've been through that. I've been through all that stuff. I'm walking around and my ears are just uneven. It feels like I got a weight on one side. One side is all clogged up, and it's like, how do you enjoy yourself that way? But it's funny because the more you put yourself out there and just do it, you'd be surprised how it's gradually getting better. I mean, I think a lot of us are just impatient in general. I'm a very impatient person too. I'm patient with select things. You know, I'm patient in areas like teaching my kids something. I feel patient if they're being cordial and being good, and they just not getting it. I'm patient in that regard. But when it comes to myself, I'm not so patient. I'm like, hey, I should do better. I should, So sometimes I beat myself up, but believe me, it's hard to do things when you have this weird sensation in one ear going on and both ears going on. It's not easy. I'm not gonna sit here and say that it's super easy to get by and do things. It's not. But what I will say that as you continue to do those things, your body almost interprets everything that it's like your mind says, well, this person just keeps going and doing things. You start drowning out what's wrong in some way, slowly though, very slowly and gradually. You're drowning out all the things that's wrong, and eventually you wake up and you're like, hey, it's not as. That's how it usually happens. I'm just gonna say that. You wake up and you're like, it's not as bad as yesterday. And you wake up the next day, not as bad as the day before. And you wake up the next day, not so bad, not bad at all now. And then don't dwell on it, but just you think about it, and then slowly one day, it's so weird. One day you just start doing a bunch of things, and before you know it, you realize it's gone. But it happens so gradual that you almost forget that it's not there anymore before you actually remember that you had something that was wrong with you. That makes sense. It's like it's so gradual that it's like turning the volume down very slowly until there's no noise. You don't really notice the jump between noise and no noise. You just hear it going down, down, down very slowly. That's kind of how your healing gets. Eventually, it's gone so slowly that all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, I'm not so bothered today. And then it goes away. So hang in there until you get that. Don't expect to go from walking to not walking, or not walking to walking. Basically, don't expect to go from one opposite end of the field to the other opposite end of the field, is what I'm trying to say. Sorry, my analogy game on that one was pretty bad, but don't expect to go like a baby, doesn't just jump up from crawling right away and start walking around. It's like up, I fell down one less time than I fell down yesterday. Kind of like that. If that, you know, that makes sense to all of you. Instead of falling down 50 times, fell down only 49 times. Kind of like that. So just be patient and weather the storm and go through the motions. You got to go through it. And then eventually one day you say to yourself, hey, my ear actually did not make a sound today. And then next you know, it's gone and you're telling everybody what you went through, like I am right now. And hope that you could pass your knowledge along as well. All right, well, I am at my vehicle. I'm gonna hop in here. I'm gonna get back home, do some editing on this bad boy, get this sent out, and we will talk to you all very soon. I'm gonna go. It's pretty hot out here, so I'm like sweating right now. But yep, I hope this video was very helpful for you all. If it was, take time to subscribe to the channel. I try to bring content pretty often. And since I'm not in the studio, I will talk to you all later. Take care, everybody.